low. I feel like my music is too loud. Oh yeah, that's because my music is too loud. At least for me. I don't know. I don't think this affects what you guys hear because you hear it from the desktop stuff. But hello, welcome. We are once again taking advantage of the fact that my internet works until about 4 p.m. So we'll be streaming a little bit. I finished the purple. It is resting, so we might be putting it on an innie naughty later as well. And I started the next batch of blue, so that's what we're working on. In the meanwhile, I opened to take a peek my box for my DPAL. So that's diamond painting along painting, and I did find it did have a collectible trading card thingy, which I'm very excited because it's my first one, but it's I believe it's a bronze one, which is the most common. So I need like 5 of these and 3 silvers and a gold or something to get a discount coupon, but you know, they're collectible and tradable and they're kind of cute. Let me see if I can bring it up so you can sort of a little bit see the painting that I'll be doing, which I'm refusing to focus on. There we go. So without like the witch's night out wording, but it's gonna be like that witch on a broom with like the moon behind her, so it's pretty cool. And then the card, like, you know, has a scratch off thing over here where I theoretically can input the actual code. But it arrived, so I'm very excited about it. And also, Hanukkah starts tomorrow, so I get to bring out my very awesome stream menorah, which right now only has the shamash on. That's the servant candle. It's the one that you light to use it to light the other candles. So starting tomorrow, we'll be lighting 1 candle a day, however much I get to stream. Unfortunately, of course, the candles get lit in the evenings when my internet right now does not work. Well, my download works. It's my upload doesn't work. Also, I just realized I am wearing a t-shirt with a lot of green in it, and that was not a well thought out plan. Oh well. I was like, I'm gonna wear this shirt. It's the first tie-dye shirt I ever made. It has a heart on the boobs. And I made it, but I did not think about the fact that it's mightily green. Well, that's a lesson that we have learned, and yeah. All right, I'm gonna move this light a little bit up because I had another light over here and it just stopped working. So. But this kind of lights up the desk reasonably well, so that should be good. And I think the internet is working. I think it's a little hard sometimes to know, but in case for folks who weren't around when my internet was just barfing all over the place, right now my download speeds are great no matter what, and the upload speeds are good from sometime in the morning till about 4:30 p.m. They're like 11 megabits per second and megabytes. Anyway, 11. And somewhere around 4:30 they plummet down to 1 or less and stay that way for as long as I would measure. So like I went to bed at 3 a.m. and it was still terrible. I woke up by like 10 a.m. and it was good again. So that's the problem that's happening. But up until like 4:30, it's fine, basically. So we're just gonna be okay with it, I think. Oh my god, why? What is going on? Sorry, I use my phone to like monitor my stream, and it just was like, you don't want to actually be looking at your stream, right? We're gonna just stop that. Thanks, app. Anyway, so we're gonna get a little bit of our spinning on. We started another chunk of blue. I have not wound off the purple or washed it yet, which is why I don't know yet how much of the purple there is, but oh my god, come on, pull it. That's what she said. So I don't know how much of the purple there is yet. I feel like it looks about the same amount as the blue was, but that doesn't mean very much. As with the blue, I had a big difference between, oh, this is going too fast. I had a big difference between, and now it might be going too slow. Maybe not. I had a bit of a difference between the two bobbins, so I had a lot left over on one of them. So like the last probably, I don't know, 20 yards of the purple, like the blue, are chain plied. And, you know, that's its own sort of ball of wax. I really, like, I'm absolutely going to Kickstarter the fold when it comes out. Because the fold, so I don't know if people follow the news of the electric spinning wheel world, probably not. But electric eel wheels, which is what these are, EEWs. Maurice, who does them, he is from Leominster, Massachusetts, which is near here. Does not have a storefront, sadly. But, whatchamacallit? Oh yeah, so he has been developing a new version prototype, and is planning on kickstarting it like January 5th or something. So it's gonna be slightly smaller than the 6, but definitely bigger than the Nano. And these parts, the legs, are gonna be on hinges, so that when you're not using it, you can kind of swing them down underneath, and they fold, so like the whole thing becomes this like flat pack thing for transport. The thing that I really want about it is not that, because I don't care if it folds. What I care about is that it's going to have a tachometer. It's going to be able to tell me the speed with which the motor, or the flyer, I don't actually know which one it's measuring, but the speed at which the thing is turning, which means that I can go like, oh, it's going at 450. So next time when I, you know, like adjust the knob for flying when it needs to be slower or whatever, and then I need to go back to where I was, I can just go back to a precise number, which is amazing. But it also means that if I set it to a number and, you know, there's more fiber on the bobbin or whatever, and it needs to kind of, it needs to like adjust itself, it will. So I'm very excited about that, because this can be smaller. So this is ostensibly does 4-ounce bobbins, and the Nano does 2-ounce bobbins, and obviously the spinning siren bobbins are bigger. I don't know whether the bobbins are going to be interchangeable between the two of them, or what, or how much smaller the other bobbins are going to be. But it's going to be a Kickstarter. I'm going to kickstart it because I want RPM. Because the only other option for RPM I have is the folks who make the level winding system. That's the thing that makes me not have to stop ever. Those folks also have a tachometer that you could, you know, aftermarket add, but once it's on, it sticks out because it is actually, it's an optical tachometer. It goes over here and it just basically like counts how often the flyer arm flies in front of it. So it's pretty accurate and it's pretty good, but I wouldn't be able to put my spinning siren case on it anymore because I would have this thing sticking out. So I don't want to have to screw and unscrew it on and off every time. That seems stupid. So it's not a viable tack option for me. It works great for other people from what I understand, but because I routinely, there's little sticks in this and I just hate it. Because I routinely take my wheel places, I yeah, because I routinely take it places, I really needed to be able to put the lid of the hard case on it. I love that case. That case is what allows me to travel with this wheel, because then I'm not super worried about it in my luggage. I mean, obviously I don't check it, but I'm still undecided if I'm gonna bring the wheel with me or not. I'm just so worried about it. But it's like, I don't even know, like, I mean, I'm going to the airport early enough that if they say I can't bring it for whatever reason, I could step out of security and call somebody to come just pick it up from me. I'm a little bit more worried about on the other end, but like, it should be okay, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask on my, like, I'm on a lot of Facebook groups of people who do this kind of travel a lot, so maybe I'll ask. It's a perfectly legally allowed battery, and as far as I know, there's no prohibition against the motor. But I also sort of don't know how I generally feel about it. It is like a 12-hour flight, so being able to spin on the flight might be great, but yeah, I don't know. This is the times where I sort of consider that I really sort of want the Nano, but with the 2-ounce bobbins, like, you can be tiny little skeins of yarn, and I just I don't know, I don't want to put like knots in my fiber, right? So if I could just spin it all as one giant ass long single, or 2 giant ass long singles, and then just ply all like pound of this yarn together, I'd do that, because like I'd rather have a big uninterrupted thing, but obviously that's not feasible. So yeah, but I was just thinking, like, with travel being less than ooh, I just got a message from Diamond Art Club that they added 1,000 points to my account, which is exciting. That's a free shipping for the holidays, so like, I'll take it. Especially since I just spent 1,000 points out of my account for free shipping. Which, like, in retrospect, if I just waited a day, I would have had enough points for like $25 off. But free shipping is nothing to sneeze at, because it's $10. It's like the domestic shipping is flat rate $10. So, oh my god. Also, I'm trying to sit up straight, and that's a thing that's sometimes hard with this. But I do have lumbar support in my chair, which is nice. But I just need to sit up straighter. I'm just thinking in terms of projects that I'm going to be able to bring with me. I think I'm going to finish the cowl I'm crocheting. So that's going to be done. I have socks that I'm knitting. I've been knitting them for forever, so maybe I'll bring those because they're a nice little project. But I'm obviously not gonna... Well, I was gonna say, I don't have enough to bring to start this sweater, but like, if I actually finish this second batch of blue, I might have I'll have like 800 yards. So, or 900 yards actually. So I'll have like half the blue, and I can get started on that sweater and just spin more when I get back from my trip. So like, that's also an option. And then there is a witch's hat crochet project that I kind of want to try, but also maybe not. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. It looks a little advanced for me, but also, you know, how else am I gonna learn, right? I'm gonna learn by starting things that are much too hard for me and figuring out how to do it and bothering my friends to help me, the ones who crochet, right? So like that's also an option. And that shouldn't be too bulky in terms of just size of stuff to bring. I am going to try to stream from over there, but I'm not going to have an overhead camera, although, and again, I might. I have a spare camera, and I have a spare, like, arm, so I might be able to actually just set up, you know, set up the overhead so I can stream off of it, or I can just stream games. Like that's an option. But being able to stream crafts is kind of nicer, obviously. But I have like a lot of activities planned. There is a really fascinating desalination plant on the Dead Sea that my dad and I did not get a chance to go see last time on account of holidays. Oh, hello. Welcome, Raiders. Let me pause that. Let me see if I can, like, make myself more visible. Sort of visible. Again, like I said, I wore a green shirt. It was stupid. Hello, folks. Oh my God, that's a lot of people. I don't even know if I can say hi to everybody. But hi, Kelspells and friends. Many friends. Thank you, folks, for the follows, and definitely thank you for the raid. Welcome. I'm T'Pau Vulcan, and we are spinning today. Kels, how was your stream? Or did you have to run away? Uh-oh. What are you breaking? Also, Tom Nook welcomes you and thanks you for following. Yay! Ooh, yes, we totally hit 300 followers. That's very exciting. Thank you very much. Yeah, what were you folks doing? I know, Kels, you make stuff. You made crabs for Crabmas. Ooh. Okay, that sounds kind of cool. We're spinning. I had this crazy idea that I want to knit a sweater with yarn I spin. I've crocheted a sweater made out of granny stitches, but I want to. Oh, thank you. Eve. It's like with Christmas. It's Hanukkah Adam, comes before Eve and is generally unsatisfying. My thing is right. Yes, it is. Yes, it's starting tomorrow evening. But yeah, I decided I want to knit this sweater, which is like, it's going to be blue. There's going to have a giant Luna moth across the boobs and kind of like become purple towards the top. So I'm slowly spinning. I've got about 500 yards of the blue done and some amount of the purple done over here. I need to like wash and thwack it to be able to measure. And we're slowly getting through this stuff. Trying to see how much of it I can spin before I go away on a trip. Yeah, they all start the sunset like of the night before. So like, but yeah. So tomorrow evening, and it's I'm told it's every 25 years that it lines up with Christmas, because the lunar calendar, right, has fewer days, but like we put in an extra month every few years. So this year we defo had an extra month, which is why everything is late. Normally Hanukkah is like in early December, sometimes late November. So extra month this time, get leap day and leap month. yeah, I am prepared. I have so many potatoes. There's going to be so much latkes tomorrow. But you know, that was cool. The last time it was right around Thanksgiving. It was actually on Black Friday, which is my BFF's birthday, and so she was very excited. It's like it's Black Friday and Thanksgiving and her birthday and Hanukkah. So it was very cool. Well, in this house, it's all about the sour cream. All about the sour cream. I did not find out that people put applesauce on their latkes until I was a teenager, because so I grew up in Russia, where applesauce is like, it's a thing babies eat and then nobody ever eats it. So I did not realize that it was a thing until I moved to the US, and then people were putting applesauce on their latkes, and I was like, okay, I can see that. Not my thing, but I can see that. But, you know, basically Russia is the land of sour cream. Goes in every food, right? It goes into every soup and every salad. So, yeah. Who's making latkes for Christmas? I mean, that works, right? It's basically a fancy, or a less fancy hash brown, but my family makes them, so you grate the potato on like the side of the box grater that makes applesauce, speaking of applesauce. So it's like mush, no strands, and then you add an egg to that and some onion and then just fry it. So it's so there's like no strands of potatoes at all, so it's a lot less like a hash brown and more like a pancake. Yes, and then you get like the little lacy, crispy bits around the edges, which I'm a big fan of. So that's kind of how I make mine. Like, you stick it on the skillet and it kind of spreads a lot. You get a very, very thin pancake, and then it's a delivery mechanism for sour cream. Sort of the way pie is a delivery mechanism for whipped cream. But yeah, so very excited. Yeah, you know what, Mousy? I'm with you on that. I'm not a giant fan of baked potatoes either, and like I can do steak fries in some circumstances, but they have to have like a lot of very crispy edges for me to really enjoy them. And I tend to not like the fries that like feel like somebody got mashed potatoes and then cut them up into sticks and fried them. Yeah. I'm one of those people who will like go for McDonald's and Wendy's fries over Burger King fries and stuff. Yes. Yes. My grandma also made that, and I also make that sometimes, but yes, that is just like, I have added egg to my mashed potatoes, and I have fried some, and they were good, and they are not at all latkes. But they're also very good with sour cream, and probably with applesauce. I just have never tried it. I think of applesauce as like an ingredient, because I sometimes use it as a substitute for various other things in baking, but I don't think of it like as the food. Do I have an auto pizza near me? So not that I know of. This does not mean there isn't one. It just means that I don't know of it. Is it good? Should I be looking into it? I'm in like, ooh, cool. I know that California Pizza Kitchen had like potatoes and pears and I want to say maybe chicken on a pizza for a while, and it was surprisingly good for completely weird things I'd never put on a pizza. I'm not sure they have it anymore though. But yeah, I'm in like the middle of nowhere boonies of Central Mass, so we have a CJ's Pizza and a TC Lando's, and I think a Pizzeria Regina in the mall. Good non-mini chain places. Yeah. But I'm just like I said, I'm in the middle of completely nowhere. So we because we were as a community kind of like buying our own land and getting builders to build the community for us, we had to sort of end up in the boonies because that's where we could get the acreage that we needed for like even remotely a reasonable price. But yeah, well, now I'm gonna have to look up where they exist. But like I'm sure they're more like towards Boston and civilization. But oh, okay. So if I ever go to Maine, I should definitely be able to find them. I discovered that in like New Hampshire they have like a restaurant that was all just custom order various mac and cheeses. It was like Mr. Mac or something. It was a revelation, and I think it also came from Maine maybe, but also that info was before the pandemic, and then like things got weird, and I haven't been back for a while, but that place was very cool. Yeah, it was just like it was definitely a chain because they said they had many other locations, but you could go in and they had something like 60 mac and cheeses on the menu, and then you could do whatever you wanted and assemble whatever, you know, combinations, and you could eat it there, or you could order them and like pick them up in like a prepared thing that you just stuck in your oven, which I also enjoyed because you could like stock up on them, or you could freeze them, and then you could just, they came with a sticker that said like you've frozen this many minutes, if not this many minutes, and you just stuck them in your oven, and then you had delicious mac and cheese reasonably ready. And I'm a big fan of all of those things because I do all the cooking, and sometimes I don't want to do all the cooking. So anyway, I'm gonna put us back to back over here because nobody needs to see my head that big. But get this thing started again, and let me know if the sound of the wheel is too much, because again, I moved my microphone recently and it is kind of hanging near the wheel, so I never know how much it gets picked up. But it being an electric wheel, it makes some amount of noise. But yeah, okay, good. Like normally, you know, I would spin while I was in like Zoom meetings for work, and nobody could hear it. But I also did not have, you know, a Yeti hanging right over it. It did not get picked up by the microphone like far away in my laptop. So, but my wheel has an additional noise because I have the level winding system, which I did remember to turn on, right? Yes. Work, yes. Good luck. Thank you for lurking. And thank you for following, folks. All the work time. Yeah, I guess it's like midday, but I hope it's not too much work. I hope everybody gets a good break this week and stuff. But welcome. Come back anytime. We tend to these days do a lot of various fiber arts on here. Okay, last minute wrapping. I haven't done any of that, but I see my family in early January, so I am not giving them anything for like Hanukkah or New Year's because they're all far away. But I started doing diamond art painting, so I made some diamond art stuff for my housemate, and because he likes dragons, so he gets little dragons. And I put it in like a frame, but it's a frame that's like over a yard long, so he's getting, maybe if I'm being extra, I'll stick a bow on it. Otherwise, I think I'm just gonna go, after he goes to bed tonight, I'm just gonna go put it on his chair downstairs so that he finds it when he gets up Wednesday morning. Yeah, my friend and I were gonna go do, see a movie tomorrow, but we just did not get our act together in enough time to like buy tickets in seats that I was willing to sit, because I don't want to sit really close to the screen, because she wanted to see Wicked. But so she's gonna go with her sister, and I'm gonna skip it. I'm just gonna sleep in tomorrow and probably get more spinning done. And see who's streaming. Like, I know there's some folks who are planning on streaming tomorrow. I think Luna is, but I'm not sure. Like, a lot of people are also just planning on not streaming until the next year at this point. And I tend to, like, if I'm doing crafts, I'm either watching somebody stream or streaming myself. Or watching YouTube, let's be real. But not a lot of YouTube content getting posted either, because people are obviously with their families and stuff, so we'll see. I'm hoping my internet gets fixed, but until it gets fixed, I can only stream until about 4 p.m. because around 4 p.m. or maybe 4:30, my upload speed goes from like 11 to less than 1. And we don't know why. It happens to everybody in the neighborhood, and it's really annoying and kind of terrible, and started happening Thursday last week. So maintenance is supposed to be out, but the problem is if maintenance comes like in the morning, then they're not going to see any problems, which is a thing. So if nothing happens by like Thursday, because the tech came out on Sunday and said he put in a ticket and it's 24 to 72 hours. And I think 72 hours is tomorrow evening. So if it's not better by Thursday evening, I'm going to call them back and tell them, like, okay, your maintenance guys have to come after 4:30 p.m. because that's when it drops. And this is somewhat untenable because, you know, I pay them a lot of money for this internet, and I would like them to provide it since I'm paying for it. So hopefully they'll figure it out and fix it. It's certainly upstream from my house because everybody in the neighborhood is having the problem, but I don't know how further upstream it is or what could cause it, right? Like, because again, it's perfectly fine until a certain time. So and it's that time no matter whether it's a weeknight or a weekday, and if it like stopped by, you know, midnight or whatever, I would just think it was like, oh yeah, everybody's on the internet doing something. But it keeps going. I've only tested as late as 3 a.m., but like nobody in the neighborhood is awake at 3 a.m. Nobody's using their internet. But something is going on because there was still no upload speed. And it's just upload. Download is fine. So it's just weird. Welcome back. How are you? Good morning. Is it morning? Nope, it's 1:28 p.m. It's afternoon here. Good afternoon. Welcome. We are trying to get this blue going and spinning, and just kind of chattering away about not a lot of things. We were talking about potato latkes earlier and mashed potatoes and things, so that was pretty cool. And now I'm yet again explaining my stupid internet problems. When I moved here, the only option we had, other than like DSL, was Charter, which became Spectrum. And I never thought I would miss Comcast, but I miss Comcast. It was not as bad. Yay! Well, happy Christmas Eve and Hanukkah Eve. It is no longer Christmas Adam, it is now Christmas Eve, but it is still Hanukkah Adam. So, we joke about it. What have you been up to? What is going on for you? Do you go by Mo? That's my recollection, is that you go by Mo or Dub or D or all together. But I think it was Mo. I remember somebody telling me there was some way to like make a note, and so that what I see is what people want to be called, but I have no idea how to do that, so here we are. Dub D Dub W and Demo. Okay. Alright. I will attempt to remember at least one of those. But yeah. I am super excited for tonight. My friend, so I have a best friend who goes by RGB, Raging Gale Bear, and she's sometimes in chat here. She's one of my moms. But she sings in a chorus, and they have a concert tonight. This is their Hanukkah Happens concert, so they are going to be doing a bunch of, like, I want to say music from like the 17 and 1800s, choral music, primarily Jewish choral music, which I always get startled by remembering that it exists, because it sort of always sounds like church. But they're also doing a bunch of like Tom Lehrer songs, with kind of centered on Hanukkah and Santa Monica, which is it's a cool song. But with also some other ones as well, I think. So I'm pretty excited, and that concert is tonight, so I gotta drive further into the city for it. But I'm picking up her boyfriend, and we're driving down together because she has to go obviously a lot earlier to like prep for the concert and stuff. But I'm very excited to go because I don't think I've been to one of her other concerts this year, but I haven't gotten out to as many as I would like to, and I like to go and support my friends in their artistic endeavors if at all possible. So that is my exciting plan for tonight. It just shifts everything in my schedule because we have to leave by 6, which means that I have to have had dinner by 6, which means that I have to start making dinner at like 4:30, and which like is fine and stuff, but I just have to remember to do it. And other than spinning this blue, the things I want to accomplish today, whether on stream or in general. Oh yeah? Thank you! Coming from you, that means a lot, because you spin real even. So yes, I do, and I also have the level winding system. So I don't ever have to stop. Oh, I'm sorry you have to work. This is one of those days where it is annoying to work. So I had my wheel for less than a week before I invested. It is 100% worth it. But let me tell you this thing. I was spinning on my Kiwi with the woolly winder because I got it used and it came with the woolly winder and I got spoiled. So when I started spinning on this thing, and there is no woolly winder for this thing, which is fine because the woolly winder is even more expensive, I was like, this is the literal worst. I had to set a timer for myself to stop every like 5 minutes to move the hooks, because I would forget, and then I would have, the thing that you get when you don't have hooks. So I was like, screw this, I'm buying it. I was employed back then. But yeah, it is the same cost as the wheel. It is 100% worth it. So I've had it for 2 years. That's how long I've had this wheel. I've changed the batteries 3 times. It takes 2 AAAs. I think I used their special oil. No, it's not oil. It's something synthetic, but oil on it twice because I keep forgetting to. Have not needed it. The thing to note. I'm gonna stop this. So you have to turn it on and off with a switch. If you forget, this keeps moving, which means that eventually there's slack here, and it creates a pigtail, which is okay. But before I was using the orifice reducer with the notches, this would not be quite taut. It would create a pigtail and end up in this groove, and then would get sucked in because it's an Archimedes screw in there, right? It would get sucked in, and then I would have, like, it would be trying to move, but it wouldn't be able to move because there was gunk and it couldn't turn, and eventually I would have to notice and, like, stop it and pull the yarn bits out with the hook, right? So it is, like, it's just something to remember. But also I then switched to this orifice reducer, and now it is not a problem because there's enough tension that it just does not create enough of a pigtail. Also, you can see I'm using my pedal to start and stop it because I have I've never learned to do the thing that you do with starting and stopping it with the S and Z switch. But yeah, it is, I bought a lot of accessories for this thing, right? I bought some extra bobbins from Spinning Siren, and obviously I have the Spinning Siren case with its lid. The level winder is a must for me. Right. You changed the thing because now there's 2 switches, I think. I labeled my switch. There's this side says spin and this side says ply. So I never have to think about it. So I always spin S and ply Z, I think. Nope, I spin Z and ply S. But yeah, I've just always used the pedal. I never use it as a pedal. Like, its cord has been tied up with a twist tie from the factory. And yeah, it's great. And I don't know, I love it. I love that level winding system. It saves me so much stress and time because I don't have to stop at all. I don't have to, what is happening here? I don't have to think about stopping. I don't have to think about moving the hooks. I don't have to think about it all. I just turn it on and draft. So yeah. It is, and I know it's pricey, but I feel like it's worth it. And I was just talking earlier about like, I'm gonna kickstart the fold. Is that what he's calling it? I think the fold. When he puts it up for Kickstarter, which I think is going to be January 5th. But it is going to be slightly smaller bobbins and things, and I don't know if I will be able to use the level winding system on it, or if they're gonna come out with a new one and I will just have to, like, budget in picking up a second level winding system. Because at this point, I don't think I can spin without it. And honestly, I think if I ever go back to spinning on my Kiwi, I might pick it up for the Kiwi, even though I have the Woolly Winder, because the problem with the Woolly Winder is, well, it doesn't need batteries, but it needs its own proprietary bobbins that have a gear on them. So that means that it uses, like, $60 bobbins, and you need at least 3, right? Also, I hear it squeaking, and I'm pretty sure that's that not oil that I need to put in it, but But yeah, the Woolly Winder is a completely different thing. It's got a gear that's in the flyer and a gear that's in the bobbin, and the gears together move the whatchamacallit, the thing that isn't the hook. Oh my god, that thing. It moves the thing, right? Again, it's the same Archimedes screw, but oh, nice. Yeah. I believe between the level winder and the Woolly Winder, they've got like all the wheels that are out there covered, but they are specific to each wheel, so they're each an investment. The benefit of this one, again, is that you can use whatever the heck bobbins you want, because the bobbins don't have to be involved. There's batteries for that. And so it works. It works great. I think if Maurice ever does put out the Pro, his theory is the Pro is going to have that kind of system on the wheel from the start. So I'm assuming if he does that, then it's going to get power from the from the battery or from the wall, from basically just from the wheel, to actually be able to do it. I hope without kind of having separate batteries, but who knows? And the level winder folks are also the ones who sell a tachometer for the wheel, which is the thing I'm most excited about for the Fold. But once you attach their tachometer, the spinning siren cases no longer fit because it sticks out. It's an optical tack. While as Maurice's is going to be built into the base for the flip, because it's actually it's actually a tachometer on the motor as opposed to on the flyer, I believe. So very, very exciting. I was thinking about it as I was adjusting the speed, because I was flying last, and the speed was not the right speed for spinning. So, but yeah, I need to end up with 1,800 yards of this blue and 1,000 yards of the purple. So we will see how that goes. This is the most ambitious spinning project I've undertaken, because normally I'm just like, I picked up some cool fiber, let's spin it. How much did it make? No idea what I'm going to make out of it, but now that I know how much yardage it is, now I can think of something. This is the first time I sort of decided what I want to make, what yardage is needed, did the back math, and am like trying to spin stuff for it, so we'll see how it goes. I received my box from Greenwood Fiber today, and I haven't even opened it. So yeah, it's about 1,800 yards of the blue and 1,000 yards of the purple. It's a pretty amazing sweater. I picked up the pattern on Etsy. It's not terrible. So I spun, basically, this is my, I can press the fiber button. This is my gang set fiber. Thank you so much for letting me know they exist, because they are by far the cheapest way to get merino. So they're in like 3.5 balls, which I was like, okay, I'm just gonna spin all of it into a single and spin a second one into a single, and then, yeah, I know, right? And then ply it, and that's gonna be 7 ounces, so that should be a lot, because usually out of my 4 ounces, I get just shy of 400. I was like, this should be 700 yards. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was just shy of 500 on the blue. I haven't did wash and thwack on the purple yet, so I don't know. So I was like, okay, I must order more. At least it's reasonably cheaper. But yeah, like, it's coming out about, I want to say it was like 490 yards per. Ooh. How do you do that? Okay, so tell me, how do I do that? I saw that, like, somebody also said I should try to do like an affiliate code for nitpicks, but when I went to the nitpicks like webpage for it, they said, oh, and you must like um show us where you are doing influencing on like Twitter and Instagram, and no place for like do streaming, so I couldn't quite figure out how to fill out their form. How do you do it with Gangset? Like, and you don't have to tell me here, like, feel free to DM me in Discord or something, but like, I will absolutely do it because yeah, we absolutely should. I know I used your code the first time and then I totally didn't think about it, and I need to really do that because it doesn't cost me anything. But yeah. They keep sending me these like 10% off coupons, which is nice and basically covers the shipping. I think I would have gotten free shipping if I ordered all my yarn at once, but I didn't think of it. Fill out an application. Yeah, I will. Maybe I'll like DM. Yeah, that's true. Also, like, more people should. It's literally, like, it's fairly nice merino, but also 3.5 ounces for $10 is the cheapest I've ever seen for merino. I had picked up, like, one blue and one purple the first time you mentioned it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to spin it. I'm going to see if it's soft enough, because I got super spoiled by the Greenwood fiber, because it's like silk camel merino. I don't think I've checked that one out. I really should. I'm always really worried about buying fiber on Etsy. I don't know why. Like, I shouldn't be, but I kind of always am. Especially if, like, they are able to do more than 2 ounces of, like, the same. Yeah, please. More than, because, like, I never need 2 ounces. 2 ounces does not give me any useful yardage. After this one, I gotta just like plan on doing a 3 or 4 ply too, because I've been working on getting thinner singles, which is great, but it means that I'm ending up with like fingering or DK, and I keep finding all these patterns that want worsted yarn, and I don't want to double it up, but I always feel weird like trying to spin thicker, because I feel like I'm not getting maximum yardage from my fiber, which is nonsense, because obviously if I then have to double it up, yeah, like, there is no logic here, only Zool. But yeah, I just I end up with so much spun fiber, and I do spin it faster than I knit it. So that's also in part why I'm trying to learn crochet more, because not so much because I'm faster with it. I am not. I am a much faster knitter than crocheter, but it's a little bit more like portable. Not because like it's small or anything, but when I'm knitting, I knit a lot of shawls, and you get to a point where your rows are like 500 stitches, which is fine, but it gets to a point where I'm like, oh, I can't I can't do a bit of knitting now because I need to have at least a free like hour because I want to do at least one full row or whatever. And then I don't take advantage of like I'm waiting for a bus, I'm waiting in the doctor's office or whatever. But with crochet, because it sort of doesn't matter if I'm in the middle of a row so much, I feel like I can a little bit more pick it up whenever with just like a little bit of time to take up with it. And I know that it is like totally irrationally in my head, but it's totally irrationally in my head, and it's just kind of how it is. So, but yeah. Also, I feel like if I'm going to call myself a real fiber artist, I need to be bisexual. I should be able to create fiber arts with one stick or two. And like, there's nothing exceedingly difficult about crochet. I just need to do it more. Plus, I'm kind of tired of like finding really cool patterns and seeing like, oh, I wish there was a. Well, okay, but this doesn't take any sticks. I want to be more versatile, right? So I am picking it up a little bit more because my knowledge of crochet prior to, I don't know, November, was really like I can do enough to make an edging or to do an invisible cast on. So I was like, and like, my bestie is a crocheter, and honestly, I started following a lot more fiber artists on Twitch, and a lot of y'all crochet a lot more than knit. So I see somebody doing something cool, and I look at the pattern, and I want to make that, but it's a crochet pattern. It's full of words I don't understand. So I'm fixing that problem. I am fixing that problem, but also I need to knit on stream more. I will probably be knitting this sweater on stream just because, you know, just because it's kind of fun, but yeah. I'm not trying to be twinning with you. I think it's a common path, honestly, is, you know, you do one and then you realize, oh, but I want to be able to do these other patterns, and you do the other. Although I'm also told that the common path is first you knit or crochet, then you do the other one, then you spin, then you weave. So I'm already there. I'm doing the weaving too. Then you get a sheep. And I'm terrified of this progression because I don't have anywhere to put a sheep. And I don't have anywhere to keep a sheep. I don't have anywhere to keep a sheep's food. I don't know what they eat. I'm assuming grass or hay or something. I can't even keep a cactus alive, so nobody wants me to be keeping domestic animals. Also, I live in a condo. I mean, we have a field, but I don't think my neighbors would like it if I put a sheep there. Alpacas. Alpacas are where it's at. But, I gotta say, like, the thought of getting a fleece and having to wash it and card it and, like, prep it into roving is not, like, that does not sound like fun. I like my roving pre-rovinged for me. Thank you. So, I get a monthly box from Greenwood. Yeah, I think they're Greenwood Fiber, and I subscribed to the Merino Silk Camel blend. Well, I subscribe to blended fibers, and so mostly I get Merino Silk Camel, and sometimes it's Polworth Yak Silk. And oh my god, the yak is lovely. The camel is insane. It is the nicest, softest, most amazing yarn that I've ever spun or knit with. It is insane. So I was worried about this just 100% merino because I was like, oh, but is it gonna be soft and non-scratchy enough? And like, it is, but it's no camel. Also, in addition to not getting a sheep, I am not getting a camel. So I really like that camel silk merino blend. I like alpaca. I mostly do not like bamboo, even in a blend. It is too slippery for me. I don't like it. It is too cold in Massachusetts for camel. That's probably not technically true, but like, also, I don't need a camel in my life. I've ridden the camel once. They spit and are terrible and are hard to get on and off. But I'd have to say like either a good blend with silk and other stuff, or an alpaca. And like merino is fine. And I have never spun like anything that came from a bunny. Because I'm allergic to the bunnies. I have knit with Angora, and I have to wear a respirator mask to do it. Because their fiber breaks off in little enough bits that it triggers asthma, and I like breathing. Yeah, no, like I'm not looking forward to it. I don't want to do it, so I don't think I'm ever going to need to. And I like breathing. I've not done like rayon or anything. I've not done straight up silk. Yeah. I don't like, yeah. My problem, like, it's gonna all end up inside my lungs, and I will die from not breathing. I've done silk on a supported drop spindle, and it was terrible, and I did it. I kind of approached it the same way I approached when I got my first car. My dad said, you need to change your own oil once, and then you never need to again. You can then go to Valvoline. So I did it once to say that I did, and so that I could if an apocalypse happened. And, like, that was my thing with the supported spindle silk, like, with, like, a little Turkish spindle. I can do it, but I don't want to, and also I really don't like drop spindle. I'm one of those people for whom the operative word was drop, so it was not very, very useful. But I've blended silk into things, so the next spinning, oh, thank you, yay. Also, have I mentioned that I got laid off in July and I still don't have a job, so like, temptation. I will be good, but I will look and save them for like, when I either desperately need something or like have funds, but, the next on the to spin list is the stuff that I used a blending board on. When I went to the Fiber Festival in November, the New England Fiber Festival. Okay, right now I have on Throne like stuff for diamond art painting, because that's a hobby I picked up in that rage train, like a dummy, and it's not cheap at all. So, yeah. But, oh my god, what was I talking about? I was talking about something. Oh, yeah, so I picked up at the Fiber Festival some Polworth yak and silk, and some straight up silk. So I was blending the silk into the, like, bro, I heard you like silk and your silk, so I, put more silk in your silk. Yes. I was doing that on stream a couple of days ago, actually, for the first time, because I have a smallish blending board, you know, I can set it up here. But there's a lot of like anchoring things with my boobs that happens. But yeah, here I'll stop spinning. So I have like my bag of Rologs, and it's in bags because I had to split it in two by weight so that I could spin the singles. Yeah, they make adorable snails. Also, I really like spinning off of Rologs, so but yeah, that's the next spinning project after everything for this sweater gets done, so someday we'll get to it. But I picked up this like deep dark forest green and almost like that cranberry burgundy color, which immediately put me into, yes, the colors of my high school years. Because when I was in high school, like the colors that I certainly wore and everybody wore were like forest green, cranberry, and heather oatmeal. Were the, like, just everything in my wardrobe was those colors. But yeah, so I picked those up, and I've already blended and spun the green, and so it ends up being about 4.5 ounces, because it was 4 ounces plus half of the 1 ounce silk. Well, you've got a wheel or two. Why aren't you spinning? Also, I put in my calendar your all-day diamond painting thing. And then I told my bestie that I was doing that because she was like, oh, you're coming over, right, on the 31st? And I was like, well, I was gonna watch the stream all day. And she's like, we can just put it on in the background. So I think we're gonna potentially either put you on the big TV or on like a laptop screen and watch, because I want to see this craziness. My foray into diamond painting is I got 6 little tiny cute dragons to do. Oh yeah, I mean, who doesn't swear? Also, you're putting tiny resin things onto a somewhat sticky surface. How do you not swear doing that? Like, I was certainly swearing when I was streaming it. But yeah, so I made like 6 tiny dragons, like tiny, as a present for my housemate, which he hasn't gotten yet because that's tomorrow. And I'm like halfway done with my Spock. See, I have this. I had to do Spock. I saw a Star Trek thing, so I had to do it. So, I've got like this much of Spock's face done. So we're getting there. And that was like, those are round things. I know, right? I also saw that they have an Enterprise that I want. And in that same series as Spock, they also have a Kirk, but not a Bones. And then they have like poster style Kirk, Spock, and Bones. And I desperately actually want them. Oh wait, I think I have. Do I still have that? Like, it's been forever since I've had it. But I think I actually have it. Hang on. Does that exist? Does that still exist?
Live long and prosper.
Yes. It does still exist as a command. But yeah. I need to turn it into a button on my fake Stream Deck. I don't have a real Stream Deck. But I use Touch Portal, which is amazing. It's a fake Stream Deck. It turns my phone into one, basically. But yeah, so I added to my wish list all the various Star Trek things from the Diamond Art Club. I was complaining on my Facebook that I like developed a new hobby and it's not cheap, and everybody was like, oh, but you can just go buy them on AliExpress or Temu. And I'm like, okay, first of all, those have $20 shipping. Oh, those were amazing. Those were cool. I have a couple somewhere because people gifted them to me, and I don't do a Christmas tree, so I don't have anywhere to put them. So for a while I had them hanging off of like just little hooks on my wall. But then I moved, and so now they're in a pile somewhere. Right. So yeah, all of those things, and then other people are like, oh, but they're always on sale in Hobby Lobby, and like I am not setting foot into a Hobby Lobby. Like when you have too many things to even be able to list all the problematic things with you, they might. They might. I haven't like super looked, but also people talk a lot about kosher and not kosher menorahs, but like you can get a potato and stick candles into it, and it's a perfectly fine and legitimate menorah. Because the only rule is that you need to be able to fit 8 candles plus 1 helper candle, and the helper candle needs to be different enough for you to know that it's a helper candle. That's why it's often like taller and in the middle, but like that's it. That's why they have dinosaur-looking menorahs and the banana-shaped menorah, and every child in Hebrew school has made a menorah out of clay that is, you know, some weird misshapen lump with candle holders in it. But yeah, like I think there exists like an enterprise that has basically candle holders built into it, but I've only seen it in like photos on the internet that were not attached to a store. Hello for Cynthia, I think, like the flower. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for lurking. I know. The dinosaur menorah is perfectly fine. I do not own one. I have, I still have the menorah that looks like it was like folded out of one piece of copper. That was like $3 20 years ago, and like that's what I use. But it's because it's compact, it fits into a drawer. I have like a Judaica kitchen drawer, and it fits like the menorah and all the leftover menorah candles and all of the Shabbat candles, and like, you know, it's like the miscellaneous junk drawer of Judaica. But yeah, now you have me curious, and I'm gonna have to, after stream, go and look up the Star Trek menorah. But I have found that like the very artsy, like fancy ones like that, they tend to be very like pretty and artistic, but are actually very hard to clean out. So, you know, trade-offs in life, right? God, I hope I can just finish this whole chunk so that I'm done with this single. Yeah, it's like, because you have to be able to get old candle out, right? Because it extinguishes itself, but there's still wax, and, you know, you have to kind of scoop it out of there. The benefit of the weird, super cheap one that I have, which is really just, like, it's a folded into 3 piece of copper. And, like, each of the candle holders is also just, like, folded. Means that you can just push the wax through. Like, when you put a new candle in, it pops the remnants of the previous year's candle, or previous day's candle, whichever, just like all down, and you can pick it up and toss it out. But yeah. Oh yeah, the other thing that has to be, that makes a menorah kosher, is that the candles have to burn for at least a half hour until after sundown. So like, you probably can't use birthday candles because they're too small, although like in a pinch, better than no candles. But like, you know, the little tapers that they sell at the supermarket are good enough because they burn basically exactly a half hour. Also, I light that thing in my sink because that way I know that I'm not going to set the house on fire when I leave it unattended. So yeah. Do not lose yourself. Stop it. I talked to my fiber. Yeah, You know what? Because it's made of metal. My sink is made of metal. It is flat on the bottom. And if anything becomes a fire, it's right next to water. Because I've had a menorah on tinfoil on my windowsill, and it managed to burn a hole in the, like, whatever the hell my windowsill is lined with, right? Like, it's paint, but it's like latex plastic paint or something. So like now there's a black hole right there. So I just put them in the sink, because my mom used to do that, right? Like, she would light them on a tray, and if they needed to leave the house or something after, but you can't put them out, they have to burn down. So it's like, okay, well, you can take the whole tray because you can't move them, but you can move the tray they're on, because we are a nation of lawyers. You take the whole tray and you put it in the sink, and then you can leave a lit candle in the sink. It's also where I light a candle for when it's like the anniversary of my grandma's death, and you have to light a yard side candle, and those are like the little ones in a glass, and they burn for 25 hours. So if you have animals, you either have to watch it for half an hour, like keep your animal, or have it where your animals won't get to it, or you get an LED menorah. But like, people have dinner candles and birthday candles and whatever candles, and they train their animals to not get into that. But also, I had a friend who had a cat who liked to sit in the middle of the stovetop, back when the stove had like a lit pilot light in there somewhere, and she was like, I swear to God, that cat is going to set its tail on fire, and it's going to be terrible, and I'm going to laugh, because, but yeah, there's plenty of people who follow all the candle rules and have cats and dogs and things, so. Yeah, I think hers was like a black and white cow print cat, basically. Looked like an old gateway box. It was not the brightest cat at all. Maybe it had orange ancestors. But I do not have any animals in the house. I'm not counting the housemaid. He has got a brain. So, not an issue for me, but like, I think these days. Yes, they came in those big cow colored boxes. I don't know if you were around for that. Right, so like that cat looked kind of like that box. It's like, can't tell if it was a black cat with white bits or a white cat with black bits, but it was a thing. Yeah. I got my first gateway, so I came to college with like a computer my uncle built. So it was like a Franken computer. It had seriously parts inside that were like wedged with a toothpick so that they would fit. But at the end of my sophomore year, I had switched to a computer science major, and I was like, I need a real computer. And I bought myself a gateway. It was very exciting. It ran Windows 95, and I bought it with my own like work study earned money, and I was very, very, very proud of it. I had it for a whole bunch of years. It was like, he built me it was a 485 or something. It was like a decent computer back then. He wasn't in computers, so he knew what he was talking about. But it was like made of parts. And yeah. I remember I had that gateway box like in my dorm room for forever. Just empty, sitting in the corner, taking up space. Because I was so proud of the fact that I bought myself my own computer with my own money. I think it was like the first time I had that much money for a thing, and I saved up that much money for a thing that big and that expensive. So I was very proud of it, and I didn't want to throw out the box because the box was like proof that I did it. Also, like, I was 17. Just sort of for reference. But yeah. Oh, we are going to have an ad in 5 minutes, and I tend to put the BRB screen on for during that time, because that's a great time for everybody, me included, to get up and stretch and get a drink and use the restroom and do whatever you need to do. Because otherwise we're all sitting here without moving for many hours, and nobody needs to get blood clots from not moving. It does not only happen because you play WoW for 20 hours straight. It can happen if what you're doing is crafting for 20 hours straight and not moving too. So I'm a big fan of everybody get up and stretch and move at least a tiny bit while 3 minutes of capitalism happens. So that'll be in a few minutes. Plus, it will help me get rid of pre-rolls, which I try to make sure happens. Right, this fiber really wants to slide off the desk. You are not allowed to slide off the desk, fiber. Ooh, nice. What is it for a project or just for funsies? And what fiber are you spinning? Also, the only way I've done 3-ply is with a chain ply. Do you just ply off of 3 bobbins for it, or are you chain plining it? Also, I am not even a little bit sorry for getting you spinning. Not even a little bit. Fun and to clear out. Yeah, okay. Okay. I learned chain ply out of necessity because I inevitably don't have even bobbins. So almost all of my spun fiber has like the last 20-ish yards of chain ply. It's not hard. You're just crocheting with your hands. You just have to make sure that your take up is high and your speed is low, because you have to make and pull the chain like before it gets too wound and stuff. I always panic, and I weigh the yarn exactly, and that doesn't help. I am just not I'm not consistent enough to have it help. And I've talked to like master spinners, and they're like, yeah, no, like the stars never align right. They also say they always have that problem. So like, okay, great, it's not just me, but yeah, it's never quite even, ever. I have never tried to ply off of more than 2 bobbins. So the chain, like, it's always even. What do you mean? Oh, do you mean the length of the chain bits? Because it doesn't matter. They just line up next to each other, and it doesn't matter. Like it does not matter how big your loop is, because whether you have like a 2-inch or a 15-inch unit of chain, it is seamlessly attached to the preceding and following unit of chain. You cannot tell where those things are. Oh, welcome back, Mousy. I don't love it, but fly on the fly with you know what, I don't even know what all those words mean, let alone what you mean by that, but I really want to know now. Please explain. Yeah, but like, yeah, so I do chain when I have one single, right? And then I have just one giant single, and it's as even as it's gonna be. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh my god. How do you ply on the fly with a drop spindle? Yeah, with a, like, and not just with a drop spindle, where again, for me, the operative word was drop, but with a Turkish, right? Like, I'm assuming a supported Turkish, so for like insanely thin things, I cannot even. Can't even odd. That is no. Oh God. That I cannot do. But what I end up doing a lot is either, like, I have a fiber where I just do not want to muddy it, so I will chain. We are in an ad. No. They are prevented, but if you whisper to me, I will post it. I'm also going to go into BRB just because ads. Sorry about that. Capitalism had to happen. Okay, during the raid train, I got the Mufasa Lion King live action movie ad like 100 billion times. It was weird. But while I was on BRB screen, I remembered that I had meant to press some buttons, like this button, which was about the creative club that Twitch has started. So if you are a arts and maker person, yeah, absolutely try it. All right, I have a link from you. It says second link, so I'm assuming there was a first link, but I only got one. Okay, so this is a... Nope, do not play that video now, thank you. Here, let me try to post this. There we go. So that's a video of Fly on the Fly, and then this one... Spinning Sarah channel. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to watch these later, and because they feel cool. Let me. And this is the second one for anybody who wants them. I'm gonna have to do that too. I don't know if I am ready in my life to do Fly on the Fly, but chain flying is just handy. Speaking of like skills that one wants to have to be able to have the skills. But yeah, I just find it's useful when I run out of my second bobbin of single, and I'm like, well, there's a bunch left on here, so I need to look at it because you know, like that's why I switched to knitting 2 socks at once, because I would then only have 1 sock, or I would have 2 socks that were of entirely different tensioning or whatever. So I only knit my socks together. So do you have an electric eel that you're not using? Oh, I don't bother with the magic loop. Oh no, screw that. I use two circulars. Magic loop is the devil. No. I just I use 2 circulars so that basically the socks are like, there's a circle in the front and there's a circle in the back. And the only difficulty is that when you go from one sock to the other, you have to use the other ball of yarn, or you end up with socks that are attached to each other. But that's it. Magic loop is the devil, so no, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. So yeah, so with the 2 circulars, I don't have laddering. It does not ladder at all, so it's pretty nice. But yeah, if you have one of these, I think you're actually pretty local to me. If you ever want any help. Magic loop is not, like, it's not bad. It makes sense once you do it, but I find the need to like pull the loop out. Like, I find it annoying the same way that I find the moving the hooks annoying. I have to stop what I'm doing and do like some adjustments. Oh my god. Okay. Do you know which one it is? Is it a 6.0 or is it a nano of some variety? Because the nano I've never used, but still. Oh, okay, so it's like an old one. Okay. Interesting. But yeah, if you ever want help, I mean, like, obviously you've got you've got Liz, but I think you're nearby somewhere. I'm not 100% certain. Um, but yeah, they are little and cute. Um, I keep thinking I want one um, to like travel a little bit better. Like I travel with this one, but the Nano would be smaller. But I keep like not wanting to use the two like the 2-ounce bobbin because it's too small. But yeah. Okay, so 2 hours is like nothing. Because I am. Okay, without traffic, I'm about 40 minutes west of Boston. Um, with traffic, who knows? But yeah, like. So, I had a bigger wheel, and it was my gateway to the electric spinner. Because I had this problem where I could not coordinate my feet and my hands very well. This just eliminates the feet. Okay, so sounds like you're in like the north end up by Salem, Danvers, that area. Not to like, you don't have to answer that, sorry. That just kind of came out. But I know that my friend who lives in Salem is exactly an hour and a half drive. So, yeah, and only because, like, you have to go around through Burlington and, like, around all of the nonsense. Yeah, like, it's totally doable. It's totally doable. But yeah. Sure. I don't know when I'm going to be there next, but just because, so my friend has many cats, like 4 cats. So I tend to visit them when we can sit outside on the porch, and in the cold months they come visit me because we can sit in the common house of my condo community and not have cats. Yes, no, nobody should go to Salem area between like the very end of September and the first weekend of November, because October is the worst, and everybody gets to recover for at least like a week before we try to drive there and like park near there and stuff. It is not. Yeah. Well, like, so I've been there like mid-September and it was okay, but also I'm not going downtown. I'm not trying to park in like downtown Salem. I'm going to, my friend's house, and like the highways are not as terrible. In October, if she comes, or if they come to visit me, it's like extra 20 minutes to get to the highway from their house in October, just because of general town congestion. Yeah, it is not a pretty sight. And people just sort of, I guess, just assume that October is just the time that they don't go anywhere and nobody goes to them, and at least none of the folks in their household are like doing retail in Salem in October, because that's the worst. Ooh, which one? Ooh, nice. Alright, Pearl Pod just sounds really cool as a name. But yeah. That's very neat. Yeah, which tattoo place are you talking about? Because I have a couple of friends who go to a tattoo artist there. The one I've gone to for my stuff is in New Hampshire. I know that there's somebody there who was a main master who some of my friends like. But they're at their own shop now. Okay. I don't think I've heard of that place. But very cool. I have exactly 3 tattoos and no plans for more right now, so. Plymouth, Massachusetts is like you know how I say Salem is about an hour and a half from me? Plymouth is about an hour and a half in the literal other direction. It is kind of like between Boston and Cape Cod, like south. Super, like it's closer to me than to Mousy, and it's about an hour out of like the airport. But if you ever do decide to come by, so this is something that I tell my friends. I live in a co-housing community, which means that we have a central common building with guest rooms. So if you ever are like, I'm flying into Boston Logan Airport because I've got to do something like an hour away or whatever, I have free crash space that is not like in my house on a couch, awkward person you don't know, whatever. It's a sleeping room, of which we have 2, in a condo association's common house with like a bathroom with a shower right outside the door, and you know, an exercise room and a sewing room and a gaming room right next to it because we designed that shit ourselves. But yeah, like, just let me know. I go into our reservation program, I reserve it for like a friend, and then and like bring towels. I bring towels. That's like our rule. But yeah, it's specifically because like one of the big things with co-housing was that we build our houses pretty small, but we have the common space to use. So like nobody has a guest room for when the mother-in-law visits, but everybody can book the guest room in the common house, and everybody has like a normal-sized kitchen. But we built the common house kitchen because many of us do like medieval reenactment feasts for hundreds of people. So like our kitchen is designed for that. And because we're nerds, we have a gaming room and we have a sewing room and that kind of stuff, so. Yes, Tower Hill is like 20 minutes away, 15 minutes away. It's like right near here. Because I am more or less where 290 and 495 intersect. So, yeah. You absolutely, like when you're in this area, let me know. We absolutely should meet up. But yeah, Liz, if you decide to come out here for that tattoo, just like let me know. We have free crash space, so you don't have to pay for a hotel. And like, I'll come get you from the airport. I promise I'm not a serial killer. But yeah. We are a little in the boonies. There is no public transit here. There's like barely able to walk anywhere here, but like that's fine. So I've had streamer friends come visit, and I was like, yep, I will just drive you places, or you can rent a car if you want, but like I will just drive you places and whatever. Not at all. Doesn't cost me anything, and like I know that travel is, 4 hours. It has taken me, no traffic, middle of the night, 4 hours to drive from Boston, like east end of the state, to Tanglewood, which is on the other end of the state. Yeah. Like, okay, if you only exceed the speed limit by 10 miles per hour, and there's no traffic, if you take I-90 as its speed limit. Targi. Okay, is that a type of sheep? That sounds like it's a type of sheep. But yeah, like from me, it's about 2.5, 3 for Tanglewood. And Tanglewood is like almost right on the border. Yeah, I mean, I do too, but that's not a good estimate of like distance, so I try to like think of that in terms of the times I wasn't. Yeah. Oh, okay. Nice. I don't think I've ever tried that particular. I'm not sure I've ever heard of that particular variety. But yeah. Okay, I think I'm actually going to be able to finish this blue. Yeah, I've not gotten to experiment a lot with a lot of like non-merino sheep. I know I don't like BFL. Like everybody likes BFL. Or BF. Yeah, I find it to be too scratchy. Oh, Rhinebeck. You know, I went once. I am never going back to Rhinebeck. That was too many people. That was too many people in one space. I greatly enjoyed the New England Fiber Festival, which I highly recommend to anybody. It's the first weekend of November. It's in the location of the Big E in Springfield. It is like, I don't know, 5-ish to 7-ish thousand people as opposed to 50 or whatever the hell Rhinebeck was. It's like, it's $5 to park and $5 to enter. I go and I spend like a Saturday there. It takes me like 3 or 4 hours to walk by every vendor, slowly looking at everything and chatting with people. So like, my friend and I show up. We aim to get there by 9 when they open. We never make it by 9. And, you know, we go, we look at everything. We grab lunch from one of the food trucks they've got. We go back to the things we wanted to buy things from, and then we're like out of there by 1 p.m. Because it's smaller, but it's nice. They have some classes, which I've only gone to a little bit of. They have some sheep shearing demos. They have animals in like a little separate nook. But it's pretty cool. It's actually where I ended up picking up the eel, so. Yeah, I don't think I've ever gone for more than one day. Like, yes, I did too. I took a class on like needle felting a cover around a soap bar. And picked up like a needle felting kit and made some gnomes and never gone back to it again. But I really should actually. I have all the supplies somewhere. They used to have a guy with a punch card loom there do demos and lectures on jacquard looms and early software, so. Ah, yeah, okay. Yeah, I haven't really done the classes there, but. And sadly, it's not really on the way to go to Webb's, although the last time Bestie and I did that, we went to the Fiber Festival and we hit Webb's on the way back. And Webb's is sort of like a pilgrimage capital, right? So you gotta go. Yarn.com. That is a bit of an hour from me. It's like an hour and maybe an hour and a half. Because like, again, depending on traffic, but like just far enough away that it's not my local yarn store and I don't go there that often, and close enough that it's dangerous and I go there too much and buy things too much from there, but it is lovely. It is lovely to be able to go to them. So here's Spunky Electric. I don't think, a Spunky Eclectic, I don't think I've ever heard of them. 100 ravens, 1,000 ravens? Some large number of ravens is there, and I love their fiber, and Into the Whirl is also there, and I super love their fibers too. And they have both fiber and yarn that they sell, both of them. Actually, no. 100 Ravens does only yarn. But yeah, it is. It's a cool little festival. I was talking about it on stream a while ago, and that's when somebody mentioned. I think it was Ian Crafts mentioned the one that's in Seattle in August that I am gonna try to go to, because I have to be there the following weekend, like not even the following weekend, the following Wednesday for Worldcon anyway, so it would just be coming in a couple of days early to be able to go to it. And then, fly home with things I bought at a fiber show. That's gonna fit into my luggage, obviously. But yeah, I really want to go, especially because it's literally in the same location as Worldcon, and I'm gonna just, Still though, I buy the spun by other people yarn. Yeah, it is. Seattle is very expensive, but like I said, I have to be there. I have to be at that convention center already. So I will be already getting a hotel room with friends for the convention. So getting a couple of extra shoulder nights at the conference rate is not like the worst. It's still pricey. Even the conference rate is pricey, but yeah. And it's right next to, it's like 3 blocks away from Pike's Place Market. Last time I went to Seattle, which wasn't this past trip in December, but the previous year, I was there for a work conference, and I met up with one of my streamer friends, Thick Like Cheesecake, and who's an awesome human and lives in like Tacoma, somewhere nearby. And she and I took a chef's tour of Pike Place Market, which was amazing, and I highly recommend. It was like $25 and super awesome. But you have to be able to do a bunch of walking to do it. So we did that, and then this time, and also we went into like the underground buried cities part, which was really cool, like touristy AF, but really cool. And this time when I was there, I was there for a convention at like a DoubleTree at the airport. So she picked me up, we drove into downtown Seattle, and we went on there's a Ferris wheel, and we went and did Wings Over Washington, which is kind of like the soaring ride in Disney World, but instead of being like about the world, or like the one in California being about California, it was about Washington. It was very, very cool. I love those rides. Those rides are amazing. So we did that. We did not get to go to the Purple store, so that's on the next trips list of tourist nonsense. I am not allowed to buy anything in the Purple store that I cannot fit into my carry-on. But, it's a Purple store. Really? Oh, that's disappointing. Why? What was meh about it? Was it not as cool? It just sounds like such a cool thing. Oh, now I'm sad. has so much promise. It's just a place with all the purple things. Oh. Was it mostly like clothing, or did it, like, it used to be that, oh, that's terrible. Like, it used to be that they at least advertised that they had like purple everything, like purple kitchen gadgets and purple furniture and purple like whatever. Okay, that is underwhelming because I do not need to go to a specialty store in Seattle for purple shirts. I can buy them where I buy all my normal shirts. So, okay, that's good to know. Because the sad face. I hate when things like have so much promise, but are not like that exciting. So it's supposed to be, right? Like that's the premise of the purple store. But like its name is purple. I used to have a t-shirt that said everything that is purple is mine and everything else can be painted. Yeah, exactly. I know that they've had to move a couple of times recently, so I wonder if they've had to like downsize and stuff. But no, stop it. Stop being terrible, Fiber. Line up and get spun. Sounds like the Francesca stores. What are the Francesca stores? I don't think I've ever heard of Francesca's. Okay, stop being a blob, and like this very tail end is always a problem because I'm always having just like issues pulling stuff out. Austin Malls was like a hippie-ish store. Okay. Yeah, okay. I don't think I've seen that in a mall, but I know exactly the kind of store you're talking about, and it's like the kind of store that I shopped at when I was a high schooler, and what I wanted was to look like I was a cool hippie with like traditional Native American jewelry or whatever, but you know, bought at the mall as opposed to you know, from actual Native American artists or anything, and it was like terrible, and my only excuse is that I was like 16. But like, I know the kind of store you're talking about, and there. Yeah, yep. Which, like, I understand. Tourist traps are a thing, and as a tourist, I willingly go into said tourist traps all the time. But, like, I do not need to spend my money on that stuff these days. Yeah. Well, the purple shop is now in Pike Place Market, so it's in, like, the touristiest of tourist nonsense. in Seattle, so I'm sure they do absolutely killer on sales because of that, but I think anytime I hear people talk about it, like they're not talking about it like it's a clothing store, so I'm assuming it used to have more stuff and was like good and has stopped basically. Almost done. Soon. Okay. Oh. Is the yarn shop in front of Pike's good? I have not managed to go into it. I restrained myself. Also, I cannot be allowed into Surlaton. Like, I just can't. Not unless they're having one of their, like, you want a La Crusette for 90% off because we've discontinued this particular shade of blue? It was, like, the best thing I ever purchased is a bunch of Dutch ovens for, like, basically no money. So much yarn. Okay. I need to check it out because I've been to that area and I've never managed to go there. I can easily spend so many hundreds in like any good yarn store. Also, why is there fiber in my mouth? Like, I have not been licking anything. Why is there fiber in my mouth? Also, don't answer that. So yeah, that's 3.5 ounces of nonsense. Ugh. This is why there's fiber in my mouth. Wait, so you're gonna be there in July and potentially in August? Because like because you were talking about going to the fiber thing as well. So, oh my God, what is going on? Why is there fluff on my? Okay. Okay, what is a Sock Madness team? Because that sounds fun. Oh, nice. Okay, that does not sound like... Okay, first of all, what the hell was that? That does not sound like enough time to go to a yarn store, but I suppose time can be made. Like, I know how to put things on my wheel without having the bearing like fall out. Speed knitting sock competition. How fast do you knit the socks? Oh, you're going further, okay. Okay, 2 weeks is like nothing for socks. Because like if I'm doing nothing else, I can do socks in like a day or two, but Okay. But yeah. Okay, that's true. It could be like a complicated pattern of sock, but nice. I brioche is like I've done it, but not like I've not done it enough for a whole project because it's yes. Well, continental is the one true knitting. I mean, you know, it is just easier and faster. But yeah, oh my god, I am like covered in little bits of fluff, and yeah. I learned to knit reverse Eastern cross knitting, which is like continental but through the back loop only. It's basically only done in Russia and Norway, because if you're knitting in the round, your stitches are twisted and stack. If you're knitting like back and forth, the purl row untwists your stitches. But in places like Russia and Norway, it's much more needed to have the stacked stitches because it's cold there. But when you use that, anytime you have like a knit together or a slip knit, you have to reverse them or your things are not leaning in the right direction. So eventually I got tired of that and I switched to just like regular continental. But every time I watch friends do English knitting and I watch them struggle, like especially if they are crocheters who are trying to pick up knitting, and I'm like, okay, I understand that here in the US it is sometimes called left-handed knitting, but you don't have to be left-handed to do it. And it's only called continental because you know, it used to be called German knitting, and in World War I we decided as a country not to do that, but like we've moved on from that. You should just pick up continental, and if they switch, it works better and easier and faster. And it's just like you don't have to let go of your needle. It's not going to slip out of its stitches. I have this theory, right? Because like I noticed this when I moved to the US. Children are taught to like cut a piece of food off holding their knife in their right hand if they're right-handed, the fork in the left hand, and then like put their knife down, move the fork to the other hand, and put the piece of food in their mouth, and then like reverse it. And I'm like, oh my god, this is the same problem as the knitting, because in the rest of the world you use your left hand with the fork in it to put the food in your mouth, and you just like keep cutting, you don't like let go. So I think this is the same thing, like it's just a way things are done. Did lever knitting, it was an interesting experience trying. Is that the one where you put the needle like into either a belt or like the Portuguese knitting into like the pin in your armpit kind of thing? Or is that something else? So it's not an anomaly. It's the way I've noticed most folks in the US do it. They switch the fork, but like in Europe they don't. You just use your, yeah, most American folks switch the fork just because that's what it's taught. Like there's nothing wrong with it, right? But that's what it's taught. So I feel like, to me at least, that is related to knitting English style, because it's the same thing. You let go of the needle so that you can wrap your stitch and then pick it up again, instead of just keeping it tensioned on your left hand. So right, yeah, no, I wear my watch on my left hand. I'm like very right-handed, but But yeah, no, that makes sense. I've watched Portuguese knitting, and like I want to learn how to do it so that I can say I know how to do it. And people who are very good at it are very fast at it, and I don't know if I will ever be. I also don't like I've moved away from ever doing anything on get up and move around. Okay. Yes, well, I've stopped using like straight needles for basically anything ever, and I use circulars even if I'm doing non-circular knitting, just because it's so much more portable and easier, and I use 2 circulars instead of double points like when I'm at the tapered end of hats and things, just because if I'm like, okay, I have like 4 needles I'm using and I feel like I'm knitting with a porcupine, like I can do them, and I often cast on double points for my circular. Flexi flips. Why is that term familiar? I don't think I know those. I have a set of Thiago interchangeables that I just use for basically everything. So, or at least for all of my knitting things, and a couple of non-interchangeables. But flexi, I need to Google that now. Let's see. Flexi flips from Addie. Okay, but like, what are they? They look like circulars with an insanely short cable, right? That's what the... Why am I don't know. I just want, like, where's my actual Addie website? Okay, never mind. Well, I guess we'll go look at website. 9-inch circular got married with the DPN. Yeah, because like the cable is like, I don't know, 2 inches or something? Thank you for following. Okay, but like, why would you not then just use your regular circulars? Right? Like, why are you gonna invest, you know, a large amount of money in... It's like when Alton Brown says there should not be any unitaskers in the kitchen except for a fire extinguisher. I guess, but this is a unitasker in a weird way. Because it's just using circulars. Like, I'm looking at this picture and you still have like the cable and other needle dangling out when you're doing it. So like, and you still have like 3 or 4 needles. So it's like the worst of both worlds. You have the too many needles problem of DPNs and too many cables and dangling bits problem of using double points, but you have both problems. So, but you'd use 2. You don't try to make like one small circle out of the 9s. You use 2, so you just have a flat thing that the front half you do on your one one circular, and then you flip your work over and you use the second circular to do the second half. Right? That's the thing. It's you never like you don't want to actually do like the tiny little circle, because that's pain in the butt. But you just use 2 circular needles. I just feel like this is like, I'm sure it works. Clearly people buy it, right? Because so many different shops are selling them. But I just feel like it's the worst of literally both worlds. I just, I guess like whatever works for people. Like, I'm not gonna be the one who, decides that it's not great, but what I just looked at the I just looked at the thing. What is this? Curved double points. What are these? Original curved DPNs reinvent the knitting in rounds. Instead of 5 needles, which by the way I've never done. I always do 3 and work with the 4th if I'm doing those. You only need 3 V-shaped needles to create a pair of socks, sleeves, or a sweater. Okay. Okay. Right. Again, I see the niche that they are filling, and I feel like you still are ending up with the weird porcupine of the double points. Like, which some people don't mind. Like, don't get me wrong. Some people absolutely do not mind that thing. I am just not quite one of those people. But I don't know. I think once I found like the interchangeables and I just started using yeah, okay. That makes sense. Also, they do all the weird things in Finland. Finland is some kinky shit. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. They are absolutely. They're just born knitting. All right, let's see if we can get this bobbin started. Like I totally see how it would absolutely be pretty damn fast to do stuff on those, but I just feel like they are a somewhat unnecessary expense. Pause and turn this guy on now that we've started. Thank you for lurking. Always gotta answer the phone when Mama's calling. That's for sure. Also, we're gonna have another bout with capitalism in like 6 minutes. So it's usually finishing between 15 and 20 hours for the very last round. So okay, so is it like you have 2 weeks and you make as many pairs of socks as you can, or you have 2 weeks and you make a pair of socks as fast as you can, and it's like a pattern that you have to follow that's like given to you? Okay, 8-ish rounds. Okay. What do you have to do to qualify? Like, finish a pair of socks, or? Like, I think of myself as reasonably fast if I, you know, I'm gonna make a pair of socks like now as opposed to put it aside and then not look at it in a year. The basketball bracket after you're placed in a team. Okay. So you're matched against somebody else and whichever one of you is faster moves on? Or... And I guess the patterns can be all different, so toe up, toe down, whatever. Because I, you know, left to my own devices, I do toe up socks and I follow the fish lips heel pattern. It's always 2 weeks, but there are minimum requirements. Minimum of 9-inch foot and pending pattern a certain repeat. The pattern for leg, etc. Okay. 9-inch foot. Okay. So like you could potentially be making a sock that you can't wear. Longer leg. Okay. Yeah. Or if there are beads, that's it. Yeah, okay. Varies with her. Right, that makes sense. But you're only doing like one pair, right? Okay. And you have 2 weeks, but like you have 2 weeks, but if like we are matched against each other, if you finish it in 12 days instead of 14 days, you like win that bracket. Is that how that works? I wonder if people like take time off from work to do it. After you place on the team, you're basically competing for the bracket within your team as well as the... Okay. Is that what the qualifying round is for? Like, to see how fast you knit a pair of socks and that places you in a thing? Okay. I really clearly I should do this. Where, like, do I just, like, Google it? Speed sock knitting? Because now I'm interested, because I need, you know, an extra thing to do. Like, I need an extra hole in my head. Qualifying round to see if you can finish a pair of socks in 2 weeks that fit the rules. It's okay, yeah, legit. So I can place you on a team that is similarly paced. Okay. That makes sense. Sounds like a lot of fun. I used to do the Rav Olympics before they got threatened to be sued and became the Ravellanic Games. Let's see, I can do this in 2 days, but I'm also a mom of 3 kids and work a full-time job. Okay, yeah, right. Okay, so it's on Rav the same way that the Rav Olympics were. Okay. I will go look it up. I haven't been on Rav, like, other than for patterns. And pattern storing and stuff in forever. Like, I used to use it as like a social media kind of thing, but haven't really been in the habit for quite a while. Yeah, that's the thing I have not done, is I have not linked Ravelry in my profile here, but I probably should. Last time I tried competing and it's moved on from running it. Oh, okay. I will check it out. Hopefully somebody else picked up to run it. Also, we're about to develop some capitalism. Oh, you get them kind of like all at once, so you can plan. Alright, we're gonna go have some capitalism for a couple of minutes, and we'll be right back. Hopefully the capitalism wasn't too terrible and did not force you to purchase pizza. But welcome back from the capitalism. Good luck with work and lurking, Mousy. That sounds like a good time. But we're gonna... how long has I been streaming? 2.5 hours. Okay. 3:25. Yeah, I got about another half hour, and then I gotta go and start making dinner, which is like early at 4, but I gotta make it so that I can eat it by 5, so that I can leave by 6 to drive to Newton, Mass for a concert. So we'll be doing that, but before that, hopefully I can get a little bit more of this done, and once I'm off stream, I'm gonna wind the purple on the Knitting Naughty. It's gonna take a while because it's like not a small amount of fiber, but I want to go wet it and thwack it and hang it to dry so that I can measure its yardage tomorrow, so that I have an idea on like how well the purple spun up. It's obviously the same yarn as the blue, right? So ostensibly it should be about the same yardage, but that assumes a consistency that I might not actually have. Thank you for following. We appreciate all the follows here. Yeah, my current plan is to stream tomorrow morning as well, or noon. It's when I wake up, so it's morning. Maybe what I'll do tomorrow is actually stream the finish for my crochet cowl that I'm doing. It's like a Mobius cowl in crochet, and I've got like 2 long rows left, and then just like cleaning up the ends and stuff. It should be pretty easy to finish, and I'm using some old fiber that I spun as one of my like first spins on this wheel 2 years ago. So a year ago? Has it been 2 years or a year? A year. It was a year in November. Time has no meaning. Like, my brain has not recovered from time having no meaning during the pandemic. So, but yeah, so maybe I will be finishing that on stream, because I don't think I'll have a chance to finish it otherwise today. But it's going to depend on, like, I'm going to get back from the concert at like 11ish p.m. So, yep, Kels raided in here a while ago. So welcome. We've been spinning fiber. I'm Tapao Vulcan, and we do a lot of fiber-related crafts here, but also some cross-stitch and some diamond painting and some gaming. So, I used to do only gaming. Like, I used to stream lots of Animal Crossing and Don't Starve Together, and then I switched to streaming only Sims 4 content. And then I switched to streaming only like Fields of Vistria and Stardew Valley, and then I was like, but wait, I could be doing my arts and crafts. So I've been doing a lot of spinning and knitting and crochet and blending board kind of work on stream. And I swear I'm going to do weaving. I did some weaving on my rigid heddle and managed to actually get that to be feasible on stream, but I am determined to figure out the setup to stream my floor loom. It's gonna be a sweater with this blue and then this purple. So it's like it starts out blue on the bottom and then it develops like a purple Luna moth sort of design across the yoke, and then basically changes to purple being the dominant color and the blue being the contrasting color in the yoke. So, and this band on the top of the sleeves and stuff. So I'm very excited to do it, but it is 1,800 yards of blue and 1,000 yards of purple, and this is the first time I sort of found a pattern, figured out the yardage, and then decided to spin it. Normally I get fiber, I spin it, I figure out what yardage I got, and then I decide what I'm going to make out of it now that I know the yardage. But this is sort of doing it the other way, and is sort of the more useful way to do it. I should press my fiber button. But yeah, I'm really enjoying these colors, and I'm very glad I picked them. I was a little dubious. I was like, oh, is this going to be a little too baby pink or baby blue? But it's not. It's actually a very lovely blue, so I'm very excited about it. Oh, the other thing I wanted to make sure I mentioned before I ended the stream is the Loose Ends project, because I've participated in it once, and it is amazing. Basically, you sign up if you're like a knitter or crocheter or, I don't know, rug hooker or whatever. If you do some kind of fiber art, you sign up, and people who've had like relatives who are working on a project and then pass away in the middle also sign up, and you get matched up with them. So this woman's mom was knitting a sweater and then got Alzheimer's and put the sweater aside and then passed away. And so that sweater, half finished, was sitting in a bag for a decade. And she gave it to me, and I was able to finish the neck of it. It had like the body of the sweater and one sleeve done. Finish the neck of it, go to Webs, have them help me match color, because I needed more yarn than she had left. And do the other sleeve and like put the sweater together for her. So like now she has this sweater that her mom was working on, and she doesn't have her mom with her anymore, right? So it's a really great project, and like you fill out a form. So like I said where I was located and that I could only work with fiber that came from a cat-free home, and they set me up with like a person who lived nearby, and we met up and she dropped stuff off, and it took me a while. There's like no time limits. It took me a couple of months to like get out to Webs and get some matching yarn. But like it was just so lovely to be able to do it. So I highly recommend people check the project out. Again, it's like entirely non-denominational or whatever, and non-profit. And the reason they mentioned that, yeah, isn't it? It's just such a, yeah, probably same. But like, it's just such a cool project. So folks should absolutely sign up if they're able to. You don't have to be like a master knitter or crocheter. You just need to be okay at it. And you know, be able to kind of like be sensitive about the fact that this is somebody's loved one who didn't finish this, and you know, it's very important and emotionally charged for them. But it's a lovely project, and I had a very like good, meaningful time working on that sweater, and I hope they match me up with other people, because you know I want to be able to help. But yeah, there was like a story about them on public radio, which is how I found them. But yeah, apparently, usually these sorts of things are part of like faith-based things, which is why they stress that they are a non-religious, non-partisan, non-denominational, whatever, because they have nothing to, like, they're not affiliated with any kind of religious institution. So they want to make sure that it's clear that they are not affiliated with any kind of religious institution. So far today on stream, we have finished the first ball of blue, so it's 3.5 ounces, and started the second one. Because I have so much of it and I have to make so much of it, I've basically just decided I'm taking the entire chunk of roving and turning it into a single, and a second chunk of roving and turning it into a single and then just applying the full 7 ounces. But yeah, so I finished the purple. I finished applying the purple tomorrow, so, or yesterday rather. So, seen some finished works they do and some finished. Yeah, yep. I was thinking of doing that, but because I was matching yarn, and it matched very well, but not 100%. So if you look closely, you can see, like, you can see where it is. And also it's a garment, so having just like a random colorful stitch I felt was not necessarily as nice. I think I saw the same article you did, maybe. It was about somebody was doing like a rug. I think it was like a hook rug, and they put in like a stitch where they took over, and that was really cool. But yeah, it's a little less like, I think a little less of a thing in a garment. So hoping that the second time, is there purple or blue? The second time around, the blue is going to be about the same yardage. So I think I got like 490 yards out of the 7 ounces on the last blue. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, because the first blue I did one of the singles on a plane, like on a flight to Seattle, and I don't know quite how even that actually ended up being, but I thought it looked fairly even, but I'm wondering if it was just a little too uneven and not as fine a single as the second single for that. So we will see. We'll see both what the purple adds up to in terms of length and what this second blue adds up to in terms of length. But we're gonna only go until 4 p.m. so another like 20 minutes or so. Just because A, that's when my internet upload speed decides to stop existing, and B, that's when I need to start making dinner. So it was an early dinner evening. And to be fair, tomorrow will be as well. Just because I am going over to my bestie's house before sunset, and sunset is at 4:21 right now. But I'm going over there before sunset to make latkes and light candles over there and stuff tomorrow. So yes, everybody, happy Hanukkah Eve and happy Christmas Eve. Just because Hanukkah starts tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll get to, well, day after tomorrow we'll get to see the right number of candles on my little menorah, which I'm very proud of because I managed to make little flames actually like dance around. So, very exciting. Earlier when Hills raided, we had a long chat about latkes and people's different traditions of them. I am a firm believer that sour cream is the one true way. And also I grate mine into mush and not into potato stranded hash browns. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm very excited to make them, because I don't tend to make them any other time of year, and I really like them. I have an entire giant bag of potatoes to assist with this experience. So it's going to be exciting. I do hope that everybody has a fun and exciting Christmas Eve or Tuesday night, whichever one is most appropriate for you. And you have just the right amount of family interaction and just the right for you amount of holiday food interaction, and everybody has a good time of things. We're gonna start wrapping things up. I should see if anybody is on to raid, because it always takes me a bit to find somebody. But let's see who's on doing what. Need reload Twitch page here, so let's see who is on. Let's see. Stitchcraft with Howl is working on a beanie. Megan of All Trades is working on a meadow dragon. Let's see. Glyza is working on things. Yarny Pixie is working on things. Hooking Hijinks is working on things. Okay. Let's see. Who is not likely to be gone imminently? let's go visit Stitchcraft with Howl. They are cool people, and I've enjoyed their stream whenever I've been there. So we will go there. They use they them pronouns, I believe, and are a cool human. So we will go there in a bit. Thank you everybody for hanging out with us, and all the folks who followed and who came here with Kelsbell's raid like 3 hours ago. I really appreciate it, and again, have a happy Christmas Eve, or Hanukkah Eve, or Tuesday evening, and I will see folks probably mostly tomorrow, and yeah, peace and love, hearts, millennial hearts. All right, let's go over there.
Other counts, be happy that you're even getting it.